Whatever you do is working. Other girls don't matter. In your presence, can't do what you do. There's a million girls around, but I don't see no one but you. Baby.
Happy Tuesday, y'all. It is day 8 of 12 days of sweetness. And I couldn't be more happy and proud and grateful and honored that we have made it thus far. I'm going to be honest with you though. Your girl is a little tired today. I am definitely feeling it today. Um, and honestly, I think it was because I had this really delicious basil Thai fried rice. And if you've ever eaten something and then right afterwards, you're like, if you feel a little groggy, you're like, oh man, I need to lay down. I think that's what happened. And so y'all are going to have to bear with me this evening. We're going to slow it down just a little bit because I want to honor how I'm feeling. I also want to really pause and acknowledge how far we have come. This is day 8, y'all. We set out a goal to offer this beautiful experience for 12 full days. The experience includes the private circle community where there are lessons, there are conversations, there's even a community playlist. If you're inside the community already, please respond to today's post about adding to the community playlist because I want to hear what y'all are also listening to. I want us all to be in a good spirit. And it doesn't have to be holiday music, although, the closer and closer we get to this last few days, I'm going to bombard the playlist with tons and tons of holiday music because that's just my jam. But it's a community, and so I want to hear what you all are also listening to. Um, but yes, we said we were going to do this experience for 12 days, and it is an experience. I put a call out to my amazing community, and 15 women said yes, 15 Black women, powerhouses in their own right. They are therapists, artists, priestess, book writers, teachers, elders, community builders, impact leaders, breath workers, retreat leaders, facilitators. I mean, the list is so full and rich of the skill and the talent and the love and wisdom that these 15 women have so graciously offered to the community. And so it is a beautiful ode to Black women, this community, this 12 days of sweetness, where we are doubling and tripling down on what it means to fully cultivate a sweet life. For those of you that are just joining us for the first time, welcome. I'm so glad that you found us. Whether you found us on day 1 or day 8, it does not matter. That was the divine aligned timing. And I'm so happy that you're here. And for those of you all that have been rocking with us from the very beginning, thank you as well. And welcome back. I hope that whether you are starting from the beginning or just joining us, this experience leaves you feeling full, leaves you feeling confident, clearer, reaffirmed that Black women, we are absolutely amazing. And I'm not just saying that because I am a Black woman, I'm saying that because it's the truth. And this last year has been really heavy and hard. And so we created this space and this experience because we wanted to close out the year reaffirming all of who we are. So, inside of the community, there are these beautiful, sweet lessons around inner integrity, sisterhood, community, shared blessings, doing things faithful or faithless, clear or unclear, dreaming up what the world should look like, should feel like, should taste like for you, loving yourself, all of who you are. I mean, it's just been a really enriching last 7 days. And so I am really excited, though tired, I am really excited to be continuing this on day 8. I couldn't have asked for a better rollout of this. I'm going to take a sip of water because your girl, maybe it's the hydration. I don't know, y'all, but listen, today is kicking my butt. Is there a shift, a planet in a different alignment? I don't know. Usually later in the time, I do a body scan and grounding for those of you that are joining us and myself, really. But I feel like we're gonna do that a little early in the show, because I need it. And so, you put your own oxygen mask on first before you extend to others. So, let's start this evening with a few breathing, a few inhales and exhales, and just a little scan because I want to check in with my body. And, I should practice the things that I encourage you all to do as well. And so let's see. So for this body scan, we either do palms up for receiving some energy, palms down for grounding, one up, one down for a little bit of mix. Like I said, I'm feeling a little tired, so I'm going to have my palms up. It could be here, it could be here, on top of your thighs, on top of your lap. It's totally up to you. And really, the purpose of this body scan is really to just kind of recenter you, check in with yourself. We're not going to try to correct anything that comes up. We just want to take note of it because as you continue on, whether you do this in the morning or at night, at the beginning of the week or later, you can make the adjustments along the way, right? We give ourselves grace. We just want to let our body know. This scan is to let our body know, we see you, we love you. We do want to be more intentional and care for you because, listen, we all we got. So, go ahead and start. Choose your hand position. If you're sitting, your feet are going to be firmly planted on the ground. If you're laying down, go ahead and get comfortable. I like to wiggle a little bit and settle into the space. And we're going to close our eyes. And let's just take a few deep breaths in and out. So go ahead and breathe in and breathe out. One more time, breathe in and breathe out. Good. And from here, you're just simply going to do that body scan starting at your crown. Close your eyes and just kind of run through the body, checking in at the crown, the front of your face, your temples, your jaw, your throat, your neck. And if it feels right here, just move your head from side to side, back and forth, relaxing those muscles. Your shoulders, and continue down through your chest, your back, your belly, your bottom, your thighs, your knees. Y'all, we've been talking about our knees and how much we need to fully acknowledge and appreciate them because they do so much for us. So, again, we're going to just give thanks to our knees, a little extra acknowledgement, and continue the scan on down through the front of your shins, your calves, your ankles, the tops of your feet, and the bottom. And when you get to the bottom, you're going to imagine pulling air up. So pulling it up from the bottoms of your feet all the way up through your ankles, your shins, your knees, your thighs, your bottom, your belly, your chest and shoulders, your neck, all the way up through your head. And when you get to the crown, go ahead and breathe out. So breathe in and out. Good. Now that we have settled ourselves, that was probably more for me than you. You can do another body scan again later on before you go to bed this evening. But I felt like I needed to do it just a little bit sooner than we normally do. One, to wake my own self up. Okay, so let me know, you all. How are you feeling this evening? Are you excited about day 8? Is this your first time? Is this your second, third, fifth time? What feels sweet to you? I'm really excited because today we're going to kind of dive into one of my most favorite things to talk about is that ancestral wisdom, tapping into and strengthening our connection to our ancestors. Over the last few days, we've been talking about things like manifesting. We've been talking about things um, like things around prayer and dreaming and listening to our gut and our intuition and all of those things. And if you've noticed, there's been this beautiful connection from day one all the way into today. And so I would be remiss if I did not include having discussions around ancestral wisdom, connecting to our ancestors. Um, because, listen, who would we be without them, right? And how are we showing up and continuing to strengthen our own lineage, our own bloodline? How are we continuing to show reverence to them? That is a part of a sweet life, because we talk about all of these things when it comes to creating our sweet life, right? Like we talk about our mindset, we talk about our money, we talk about our health, our bodies, we talk about our community and sisterhood. But just like those are important, being connected to spirit, being connected to where you're from, who you are, is a part of the sweet life. We talk a lot about luxury and luxury being a practice and it being a part of a sweet life, but also about what is a key piece of luxury is when you know how to connect to that front line. And that front line is our folks. I love to call them our spiritual entourage. And so today, I'm really excited because our luxury curator that will join us shortly later, Honey Bruja, we will talk about that a little bit more. We will dive into that. Um, but I got a little story for you. I love to share my stories. And this is a story that weaves in the beauty of my connection with my own folks, my own spiritual entourage. If you've been following along these last few days, then you've heard little bits and pieces of my story about how Hollister started, how I used to live in Puerto Rico, how I sold everything here in the States and moved there on my own. And really, that is where Hollister was born. But one of the things that I had not shared with you yet is this piece around ancestry. Um, when I first decided that I was moving here, right? The story that I told earlier this or a few days ago was around my life falling apart and me trying to figure it out. And the night that I prayed, because I had at this point I was completely surrendered, and I prayed and said, if this is what you want me to do, you will make a way, right? And so that's the beginning of the story. But let me tell you the things that unfolded when I was there on the island. Now, I've always had this really beautiful connection to spirit, to my ancestors. I am very fortunate in being very aware when they are around. I know when the messages are coming. I love sitting every morning in front of my altar, having coffee with them, talking to them, but it wasn't always the kind of practice that I had. And so when I moved to Puerto Rico, the very first half of my life there was on a side of the island that was on the west side of the island. Now, if you've been to the island, then you know, then you're probably mostly familiar with places like San Juan, Isabel, where I used to live, Luquillo, on the rainforest area side. Like that's what most people know. But most people don't always go to the west side of the island. But I decided I was going to do that. And while on that side, it's about a 3.5 hour drive from the airport, the main airport, to get to the side. My very first home was in a beautiful little town called Cabo Rojo. Loved it there. I would say on day 2 or 3, I decided I wanted to go to the beach. And this was around the time that my grandmother, my mom's mother, had passed, maybe about a few months before I had moved to the island. And so I had this ring. I'll never forget. It's this beautiful gold ring with this black stone, kind of like an obsidian stone, set in the middle. And that was the ring that I kept from my grandmother. I wore it around my neck because I didn't necessarily want to wear it on my hand. It was the thing that I was convinced was my only way to be connected to her. At the time, I was convinced of this. And so this day at the beach, I think reality set in and I began to cry and panicked a little bit because I was like, "Oh my god, what have I done, right? Like I've moved away from everything that I know. Not only did I move away from everything that I know, but I moved to this side of the island where like you don't see people. I see horses, cats, and lizards. That's about it, right?" And so I remember being washed over with just like this feeling of a little bit of mixture of like fear and hope and maybe even a little bit of desperation. And I was looking for something to reaffirm what I was doing. And I heard this voice, this little voice inside, right? That was like, go to the water. I love going to the water. The thing about the water is that it's so powerful and healing. Oftentimes, when we have retreats, we talk about this with our retreaters, right? Like, water has the ability, it can hold up ships, it's strong enough to hold up ships, or it can sink them, right? It has the ability to wash away what we no longer need or pour and re energize us, right? And so, water is this really beautiful conduit for just about anything. Water is life, right? Like, it is a part of, we are mostly water. And so, this day on the beach, I remember getting up and standing at the very edge, and I just started praying. So I'm praying and I'm trying to get clear about why I'm here on the island, why now, what am I doing? Am I safe? Should I go back home? All of these things. And that ring, my grandmother's ring, I was holding it in my hand. And I heard something say, let go. Now, at first, right, like I was like, let go. Are you crazy? Like, because this is the last piece of thing that I have connected to her, right? So my mind, remember, I'm thinking that this is the only way I can stay connected. Again, heard just let go. And I did. I have no idea what really convinced me, but I let go. And when I let go, the water, all of a sudden, this calm water like splashed up, grabbed it out of my hand because I was like, I'm gonna let go, but I'm gonna kind of like sneakily hold on to it so that it doesn't drift away. Grabbed it out of my hand and takes it just who knows, right? At this point, I look down, I don't see it. I don't see it on the ground. I don't see it floating in the water. It's just completely gone. I was devastated. And now I'm boohoo crying because I'm like, oh my God, what did I do? Why would I do that? Why would I listen to whatever voice that was? Why would I why would I do that? Right? At this point, I say, um, let me go home. So I go home and I go to sleep that night. And I had a beautiful dream. My grandmother, of course, came to my dream. When I woke up in the morning, I couldn't exactly remember what the dream was about, but I remembered the lesson. The ring was just the piece, right? Like it was just a material piece. It was just a tool at the time that I thought I needed to stay connected to spirit, to stay connected to who I am, to my family bloodline, to my ancestors, all of those things. I had convinced myself it was this ring that was the thing that was keeping me connected. But what I remember so clearly and from that dream was that I don't need that. It's just a tool, because the real connection, right, comes from the practice that I have, the commitment and the intention that I have to sit at my altar, to pray, to show reverence, to continue to learn and honor my family. Now, I'm telling you this story part because I wish I were there, right? This was really like a movie. In my mind, it happened like a movie. And so I want you to know this part of me because it is a very integral part into who I am, who Holistry is, how Holistry has started from this small thing, this small business to what it is today, right? I said before, returning 10. It is a part of that story, but also it was the lesson about not needing necessarily the piece or a tangible piece to know that I'm connected. After that day, everything started to fall into place because I was so willing to let go of the concept that I needed this piece. I needed the ring to stay connected. When I let go of that belief and fully trusted what the experience was offering me, when I really slowed down to hear what spirit was saying to me, to hear my ancestors, to understand my assignment, everything started to open up. Now, it wasn't always easy and sweet, right? Like a sweet life does not always mean sunshine and rainbows. I will say that over and over again. But what it does mean is that even in the chaos, even in the fear, the unclarity, when you trust in that faith, in the practice, and you double down on your practice, the sweetness shows up. It's always available, even in that uncomfortable time. And so from that day, and that was in 2016, right? I have really doubled down on my practice when it comes to ancestral wisdom, when it comes to reverence, when it comes to really giving honor and gratitude to them. That life has become this sweeter thing. It's a sweeter side. Um, and that is an absolutely beautiful place to be in. So I'm excited to hear a little bit more as we go on, and our curator for the evening joins us. She got some stories, y'all. We were talking the other day, and the stories that she was telling me about her own practice was so surprising. I can't wait to like dive into them tonight. Hi, Tina. I hope I'm saying your name right. Welcome. Yes, Honey Bruja is who is joining us this evening. I'm so glad that you were able to connect and have her give you that information and join us. Welcome. So, as I said, that was my little ancestor story for this evening. The connection, the key, the tool, or the realization, honestly, that you don't always need that tangible piece to be connected, to stay connected. Now, I want to hear from you all. I want to hear what are the ways that you are fully embodying and celebrating and showing reverence to your own ancestors? How has that helped you move through the world and sweeten up your life? I'm really excited. One of the things that this is a beautiful message. If you all have an altar, right? Like as we close out this year, um, clean your altar, tidy it up a bit. If there's a little dust, refresh the water, you know. I feel like this is a very important message. Every time we have this conversation, someone is always like, "Oh yeah, I have an altar, but I haven't touched it in a while." And then you wonder what's happening, why you can't hear clearly what your folks is trying to tell you. So this is just a loving message to you all, whoever needs to be gently and lovingly reminded to go ahead and clean that altar before the year, before the end of the year. I also forgot to let you all know. So, normally I have a nice little glass of wine, a wine glass with some water or something in it. But today, we're just going to do something very simple. It's still a pretty glass, though. Okay, so as I said, that was my story around my beginning. I don't know if I want to call it a beginning because I don't think it was necessarily a beginning. It was the pivotal mark. If you've heard me before ask that question to some of our curators, what was their pivotal mark uh, that helped them shift into whatever their practice is? That was mine. I've had other moments where it was like, oh, this it's very clear that they are present, that they are around, especially in Puerto Rico. I've had them show up in form of money. And what I mean by that is like I had prayed for I needed something. I can't remember what it was. I needed something. And I kid you not, in maybe about 15, 20 minutes, I'd received this call for a request to do a very quick project that gave me the exact amount of money that I had literally just prayed for um, 10, 15 minutes ago. And not a regular prayer. I mean, this was like a sitting at the beach again. There's something about sitting at the beach, being near water, talking to your folks that really opened up the channels. I say this to say there have been so many pivotal moments or moments where it was so clear that there was no other explanation other than divine alignment or intervention, right, from them. And so, yeah, it's just one of those times that fully affirms what it is that is needing to happen in our practice, especially when it comes to ancestral wisdom. Yeah. So, Honey Bruja is going to join us very shortly, and I'm really excited to have her join us. In addition to talking about her own practice, she has this really dope book that she wrote called Ain't Nobody Tell Me a Mother Thing. And I'm going to let her share with you the book, the premise of it. But when I saw the title, I was like, oh, yeah, this is someone I would love to have join us today. Join us and be a part of these 12 days of sweetness. We have had different levels and variations of discussions from curators. This will be the first. Honey Bruja is one of the first to talk to us about what life is like when we get a little older, when women go through perimenopause, and how that shifts into a sweet life and what that looks like. So I'm looking forward to the conversation. We're going to take a short little break, and then I'm going to bring her on to the stage, and we'll dive into that conversation. So go ahead and refresh your drink. Grab you a little snack if you want a little snack. And, you know, we'll be right back. I'll play a little music, of course. Okay, let's. In my mind, I love to toggle between some old school music, sometimes a little ratchetry, um, then sometimes a little gospel, and then some, you know, jazz. Listen, I like to mix it up. It just depends on how I'm feeling. Um, Welcome back. If you're just joining us, hi. We are on day 8 of 12 Days of Sweetness. Um, and I'm really excited. We are beyond the halfway point. Y'all, can you believe it? We have been streaming for the last 7 days, now day 8, every evening and on the weekends in the morning. We've had some really enriching conversations with some amazing, dope Black women because that is the goal here. Okay, the goal in 12 Days of Sweetness is to continue to cultivate a community and show the world that Black women are thriving, that we are celebrating each other, that we are uplifting each other, that we are pouring into each other, that we are showing each other that despite how hard the year has been, we are here and many of us fabulous as ever, if not more. And as we step into 2026, I want all of you all that are part of this community, whether you have joined inside the circle or you have just happened to catch um, a replay or on the live, I want you all to know that a sweet life is always available to us. And we're going to live it. And we're going to enjoy it. We're going to indulge. We're going to deepen our practices so that when the moments come when it's not so sweet, because they're going to come, but when they do come, it'll be easy for us to ease back to that sweetness. So that is where we are. Tonight, I'm really excited because very soon, Honey Bruja will be joining us. And we're going to have some conversations around ancestral wisdom, around deepening your practice. I want to hear about her experiences. We were talking a few weeks ago when we started planning this, and we were talking about ayahuasca and the stories that she had. I was like, oh, we're going to talk about that tonight. I want to hear all about it. She also wrote this amazing book called Ain't Nobody Tell Me a Mother Thing. And so that we're going to talk about that as well. So I'm really excited to have her join us. Let's just see. Oh, yes, Tina. I always try to cook for people and bring flowers to those I love because that was what my grandmother was doing for me. I love that. That's really beautiful. If you're just catching this, in the first half of tonight's live, I shared a story around being connected to ancestors. And so we were talking about grandmothers. And so thank you, Tina, for sharing that. That's really beautiful. I'm going to take a little sip of water. I'm feeling a little still tired, y'all. Man. So as we wait for Honey Bruja to join us, please tell us in the comments. I want to hear what are you doing this week to sweeten up your life? If you have been with us from the very beginning, I hope that you have picked up some beautiful sweet treats along the way, some gems, right? And even if you haven't yet and you're just playing catch up, let me not say playing catch up because you're exactly where you need to be at this time. So there's no catch up inside of the community. You have plenty of time to indulge in all of the videos and lessons there. So let's not say catch up, but let's say what are ways that you want to sweeten your life as you step into 2026. I'll share with you how I'm planning to sweeten my life moving forward. Um, I'm not bragging, or maybe I am because I am proud of how far we've come. I think that I live a very pretty sweet life. I have beautiful slow mornings that I have intentionally designed that way. I like to take my time. I'm a Taurus. I like slow intention. I like things to feel soft and sweet. I like to eat good food. And so my life is pretty sweet already. But one thing that I want to do to sweeten it even more is be deeper in community. This 12 Days of Sweetness experience is a really great example of what it looks like for me to be deeper into community. We've been sharing such beautiful stories and lessons, being vulnerable, um, sharing loving reminders and affirmations to each other. And to me, that's really what it means to be in community. And so that is how I plan on sweetening my life moving into 2026, is doubling down on being in community. um so listen, if y'all have any events or gatherings that you are like, Rakita, come be in community with us, send your girl an invitation. I might just pop up. I'm ready to be in community. Okay, so we're preparing for Honey to join us. Let's check in and see. We did that check in the beginning, which was really for me. But now let's do a check in for real this time, a body scan. And this one will be even more intentional. In the beginning, we started because we needed to ground and get settled in for the evening. This time, what we're going to do is fully prepare ourselves for a deeper conversation. And so, we usually do one hand up, one palm down, or all palms down and all palms up. But I want you all to place it over your heart. And while you're here, we want to invite into the conversation your ancestors, your spiritual entourage. We want to invite the questions that you may have on how to deepen your own practice. We also want to just give thanks for the ability to know that we are always covered, that we are always supported. And so while you sit here with your hand over your heart, you're just going to take a few deep breaths. So breathe in and breathe out. One more time, breathe in and breathe out. And with your eyes closed, I want you to feel into yourself. And what I mean by that is acknowledge what it feels like to be in your head. Is your head swimming? Does it feel chaotic or does it feel calm and flowing? Continue to feel into yourself and feel into your shoulders and your neck. Does it feel like your throat needs to be cleared? Does your shoulders feel tight or do they feel relaxed? Continue to feel into yourself and feel into your heart. Does it feel full? Or are there pockets that need a little extra love and acknowledgement? And continue to feel into yourself and feel into your belly. Does your belly feel full? Does it feel nourished? Is it clear enough to hear your gut, right? Hear your intuition. Continue down your scan through your hips. Do they feel tight or do they feel free flowing and relaxed, loose even? Continue to feel down through your thighs and your knees, which has been our favorite part of our body these last few days. Really feel into them. Do they ache? Do they feel pretty strong and proud and comforting? Do they feel acknowledged? And go ahead and continue to feel through your body down to your calves, your shins, and your ankles. And once you're there, go ahead and kind of move your feet in circular motions, loosen up those ankles. You can even flex your feet, point your toe, and continue to feel through your feet and your toes. And once you get to the tips of your toes, we're going to do just like we did earlier. Take a full breath in, bringing that air all the way up from your toes all the way through your body, touching those points that we were feeling into. And when you reach your crown, go ahead and let out a beautiful Let's do that one more time. Go ahead and breathe in all the way through your body. Breathe out. Good. And then when you're ready, you can gently give yourself a little acknowledgement, a little love, a little gratitude. And then you can go ahead and in your body scan. How did that feel for you all? It's a little different than the body scan we did in the beginning. This one, in the beginning, we do a scan and don't really judge what's coming up or try to correct anything. This version of a body scan really allows you to feel into your body. Feel into all the emotions, the tension, if there is some, the places where it feels fluid, all of that. The purpose of that is to really just slow down. Because sometimes we move so quickly that we forget to check in with ourselves. We forget to check in with our body. We are very quick to ask everyone else, how you doing today? How you feeling? Right? When we forget sometimes to ask ourselves. And so I hope that practice, I hope you actually joined in and did it with me so that you could at least kind of have an idea of how to feel into your body. Well, friends, listen. I hope that you're ready for a really good conversation. We're going to be joined very shortly by the wonderful, amazing Honey Bruja. And I'm really excited to have her join us and have a little conversation with us. Um, Her and I were also in another cohort, kind of like yesterday with me and Cha Cha. We were in a cohort together. Honey Bruja and I were in a cohort together. And I immediately enjoyed having conversations with her because, listen, I'm a ritual girl, okay? If you know nothing else about me, I love a good ritual. My whole life, my entire body is a ritual, it is a practice. And so pair that with a good storytelling because I love to tell a good story. If you've been with us these last few days, uh, then you should have a fairly good idea by now that I love a good story. And Honey Bruja is similar, very similar in that way. We were on, we did an initial call to just kind of do a check in and run through. And what I love is it turned into a good old conversation about our lives. And, anytime that I have this kind of conversation with someone, and it's one of those conversations where it's like, okay, I'm gonna head on out, but then y'all still talking 2 hours later, it's a good conversation. So I am really excited to have her join us. Um, we're gonna share some stories, talk about life and ritual and ancestral wisdom and all of the goodness. Um, Without further ado, I would like to welcome the wonderful, amazing Honey Bruja. Hey, I don't know if you can hear us. Can you hear us? We might be having some technical difficulties. We were having this yesterday too. If you just give us a second, y'all, we'll just see what's happening. You can't hear us. We can't hear you either. Mm-mm. No, we can't hear you. Nope, we can't hear you. Y'all, listen, we've been having beautiful days. We've had beautiful 7 days with no problems. Uh-oh. She might have to come back in and try it again. All right. Well, if you all give us a quick second, we will come back and try this again. Give us about 5 minutes and we'll see if we can get this worked out. So go grab you a drink, a little snack, and come right back. Okay, we're gonna try again. Welcome back, y'all. There you are.
Hi.
Hi.
I had some technical difficulties here and I do apologize. Had my
No,
whole setup. I've been sitting here and I had to switch because obviously my laptop is doing something weird.
it's
Here we
okay. Listen, you made it. That's all that matters.
go.
We
All
might have
right.
you may have to turn your laptop off.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna see if I could let's do that. Okay, how about now?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you see me?
I can hear you. Uh-oh. But I think maybe you're frozen now. You
I'm
know,
frozen.
listen, we made it to day 8 with no issues. It's only
Of
right that
course.
one of the days has something going on.
Uh, Of course it would be my day.
It's okay because listen, we're going to roll with it. And we have to be flexible and give grace where needed.
So you can't see me. I can see you.
I can see you now.
Oh, you can see me now. Okay.
Yes, you look beautiful
Hello.
today.
Thank you. Back at you.
Thank you. How you doing?
I'm excited. I've been
Yeah.
sitting here logged on, ready to go.
I'm so glad that we were able to have this conversation. I've been asking all of the curators to tell the world that's watching, what do you want them to know about you for sure?
About me.
Mm-hmm.
So I am a 56-year-old woman who just walked through what I refer to as the chrysalis era of perimenopause.
Mm-hmm.
I am now postmenopausal. It hit me like a ton of bricks.
Mm-hmm.
I had no information, and now I am an advocate for educating women as much as possible about this era that as a woman, you are going to enter with or without your permission.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so the lessons that I learned, I do believe that I was chosen for this role because nobody else had really stepped up. You know, as a woman coming from a family full of women, I went to all the women. I was like, something is going on with me. My
Mm-hmm.
mind is not right. My body is doing these things. And I was shut down like, this is something we don't talk about.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you just suffer in silence. So during this time, I was right before it hit me so hard, I had been in Mexico. And I was, now that I look back on it, I see I was summoned to Mexico to start um, this journey, which was considered the dark night of the soul.
Mm.
So I'm going through perimenopause and I'm also going through the dark night of the soul at the
Mhm.
same time.
Wow. First of
Yeah.
all, 56 where? Okay. You look absolutely beautiful. Okay.
I received that. Thank you. Thank you.
I only hope and pray that I look half as beautiful as you do right now. You
Thank
are
you. You do.
beautiful. Thank you.
And you will.
I received that. I'm claiming it. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Um,
Yes, ma'am.
but yes, okay. So I was telling the good people because we were having this conversation earlier. So a little mixture here, right? Of like ancestral wisdom and connecting your practice to that, but also what I want people to know is we were talking about you and I, you had mentioned you had done ayahuasca. How many times?
3 times. I'm a Virgo. We overdo things. We're extremists.
What made you say, this is what I want to do? Like, this is something I need to do. How did you get there? How did you get to that decision?
So I had been invited to Mexico in 2021 to house sit.
Mm.
And my spiritual coach was living there. She's from North Carolina. Her and her children were there. She had a 3-bedroom condo. And on one of our sessions, she answered the phone and I am boohoo crying. And she's like, "What's going on, Mona Mona?" My government name. And she says, I tell her, "Don't nobody see me here." I
Mm.
had just thrown myself a 50, what was it, the 51st, 51st, and 52nd birthday party all in once
Wow.
because I turned 51 during the pandemic. So
Mm.
I didn't really get to do it the way I wanted to do. So I threw myself this grand birthday party. And after the party was over, I just was like feeling like pointless. Like,
Mm.
everybody went back to their respective lives and I was just sitting there. And so she told me I needed a change of scenery. So
Mm.
she's like, "I'm leaving my condo for 2 months. Do you have a passport?" I was like, "Yes." And my job at the time was ending. It always ends in November and starts back in February, except 2025. We'll get into that. But I jumped on a plane and my niece kept my dog, stayed in my apartment, and I jumped on a plane and went to Mexico. So when I get there, we're just sitting there one day and I said, "What is this ceremony you go into the jungle and you drink something and it drives you crazy?" And I didn't know about ayahuasca. It wasn't nothing I had ever researched. It was nothing I knew about. Just a former boyfriend had mentioned it and we talked about it in just a passing conversation. But she tells me, "Oh, that's ayahuasca. You may want to do mushrooms first." And I was demonized from mushrooms growing up in the US, looking at the after school specials. I
Mhm.
didn't want to do mushrooms, but I didn't have any limiting beliefs about ayahuasca.
Mhm.
So she introduced me to a lady, and I ended up in the jungle, and whew, my life has not been the same since.
Well, yeah, you did it 3 times.
Well, yeah,
Well,
yeah, but go ahead.
I have heard really beautiful story. Yes, I've heard that it is absolutely intense. I have heard very beautiful stories about people experiencing practically like rebirth, right? Like, I one person, I had asked them what their experience was like, and she said she witnessed herself being born.
Oh,
She had
wow.
gone all the way back to that point, and it had changed her life. Yeah,
Wow.
I'm not
So,
there yet.
mhm.
I said, maybe when I turn 50, maybe I'll consider it. Um, I'm not there, but I commend anyone who goes through the experience, who's willing to do it. Carmen in the comments says, yes, Mexico is life changing. Absolutely. Um, so from that point till now, what are some really beautiful, sweet moments that have come from that experience moving forward?
So I don't have children.
Mhm.
I have never been pregnant. And it's not like I felt bad about it. It was just, I've been just living. And so in my ayahuasca ceremony, the first one, Mama Aya introduced me to my ancestors.
Mm.
And it was like a coronation. Like if you've seen Sinners, I think we talked about this, how when he's playing the guitar and he's walking through that crowd and all the ancestors are dressed from different time periods,
Mhm.
that's what I saw.
Mm.
And as I'm walking through, they're clapping for me, they're waving at me. And Mama Aya whispers to me and says, "Your ancestors chose you to end this leg of your DNA."
Mm.
She said, "We did not send you here to continue the bloodline. We sent you here to cleanse it.
Ooh.
Now, now
Yeah.
that I'm feeling all the love from everybody, and I took the message, and I'm like, yeah, yeah, that was amazing. And the whole experience, I tell people when you're in just, and I don't tell people to go do it.
Mhm.
It's a calling,
Yeah.
you know. But I also know that when you're afraid to go is when you should go.
Yeah.
That's just that's just mine. So 3 weeks later, I did it again,
Oh my God.
and I know, yeah. And some people only do it once a lifetime, but now that hindsight is 2020, I understand how it played out the way it did. In
Mm.
my second ayahuasca ceremony, I got up to go wash my hands after using the restroom, because you're not just totally out of it. You still can move around. Well, I guess because that was my second time, but I'm looking in the mirror and my reflection is looking back at me.
Mm.
He's smiling at me and looking at me with so much love that I blushed, and I'm like, oh my God. And after that exchange, we didn't say anything to each other. I'm walking back, and Mama Aya whispers to me again, and she said, you are not seeing yourself. Wait, she said, nobody sees you because you are not seeing yourself.
Mm.
And remember, I'm crying before I get to Mexico because I'm like, nobody's seeing me. Nobody is
Yeah.
checking on me. Nobody is, so what I was doing was using all of my magic, because I'm a very magical person. And I was biddy boppity booping for everybody. You come, oh, you need something? Come, pour your trauma on me. Let me tell you how to fix it. Because I'm full of all of this knowledge. And what I didn't know is I was depleting my cup. But
Mm.
they're happy. And so that was enough for me. But it wasn't an equal exchange.
Yeah.
So I didn't realize that my bank account, my spiritual bank account, was going lower and lower and lower.
Man,
So yeah.
that's wild. Michelle says hi. Lauren says, "Hey, honey, Bruja."
Hey,
I love this one because you were open enough to try this experience, right?
yes, ma'am.
Um, and it sounds like it has really opened you up to one, seeing yourself and creating the boundaries that you need to continue this on. The other thing that I really love that I wanted to say before um, was this piece around our continuing lineages and closing lineages, right? I think that sometimes we forget that that's also a part of it, because what we mostly are taught around ancestral healing and lineages is that, like, oh, we're supposed to continue the bloodline, we're supposed to add on to it, right? But that is a
Mhm.
really beautiful piece of it, is that some people are chosen to close that end of that root, right? Like I imagine it as to be like this really beautiful big tree with all of these roots that have like baby roots that are also coming from them. But there is a point that one has to end, right? Or be cut off so that the rest of the tree or the rest of the roots can grow appropriately. And so I think that that's really beautiful that you mentioned that, because we don't talk about that part of it.
Right, right. A lot of women who don't procreate are, I see a change now, but they tell you, oh, you're not worthy of anything if you're not birthing any babies, or you're not, procreating. But the way I see it is, I am, now that I know how to balance pouring into other people,
Mhm,
um, I have a lot of young women, like I drive Uber right now.
mhm,
And a lot of women get in my car, young women, and they're like, Auntie, can I adopt you? I just love you. And so I feel like I can pass what knowledge I have to them.
mhm.
And that's my way of birthing. I didn't physically
Yeah.
have a baby, but I have so much knowledge and guidance. And one thing that I needed when I hit this, I call it the chrysalis era, I didn't have any elders or anybody. And so I have to become it.
Yeah.
I have to become the one who, when I see a young woman that's looking confused and she's in that age range, I can say, go get your hormones tested.
Mhm.
And I do that a lot to a lot of women. And I'll see, like, for instance, it's kind of off topic, but just recently, Tyra Banks was going viral for how she was acting on stage. And I said, she's in perimenopause. I
Mhm.
saw it. That's the way she was sweating her. You kind of, it's hard to even put in words what you're going to feel like.
Mhm.
But when you start feeling that, at least now the conversation is out there and you can say, oh, this could be this,
Yeah.
you know, but it's something that I feel like my role as the auntie, I'm proud of it,
Yeah.
you know, I'm proud to pass on knowledge. And, like in my third ceremony, Mama Aya, she asked me, why was I there? She was looked at me and she turned around. She's in the kitchen cooking and I'm sitting there and she's like, what you doing here? And I was like, it's me, the chosen one. she, she said, I need you to go back. Because I
Mm.
had planned to move to Mexico. She was like, I need you to go back and you need to see something. She pointed to her. And so when I got back, that's when perimenopause just was like on my neck.
Mm.
And when I got back, I was unhoused. And so many people was like, come stay with me. And these were people who I had done beautiful things for. And when I got there, they turned to the vampires on sinners.
Mhm.
And I was so exhausted from trying to figure out what's going on with my body. And then also seeing what she told me I was about to see. And it was challenging. It was very, I can't even say I was hurt because one of the things perimenopause does is like it strips you from your emotions. The
Mm.
only emotion I was left with was crying. So
Mm.
I cried every day, but I was shocked the way people treated me in a season where a woman is supposed to be, you're becoming. It's like a second puberty, you're celebrated when you're 13, 12, 11, whenever your cycle starts. You get all of this information, films, all your friends are there with you. But when I stepped into it, it was like I was in the wilderness alone. And
Mm.
I'm understanding the assignment more and more. But yeah.
Yeah. I love that. Michelle, hi Michelle, welcome. She says that's how she feels invisible in plain sight. I think that first of all, Michelle, I want to hold space for that, right? Like, and acknowledge that because that is a very valid, real feeling to have.
Mhm.
What would be something that you would tell someone who's feeling that as well?
That feeling is your body telling you to basically pull back and pour into yourself.
Mm.
And don't beat yourself up for not knowing what you didn't know you needed to know.
Mhm.
And be as gentle. If you saw a baby walking and falling, you're going to go and try to help that baby up.
Mhm.
How gentle you are with that baby, be gentle with yourself. You have done nothing wrong. And because we have been in hustle mode and we know how to pull ourselves out, the only thing I can say is you have to let go and let it run its course.
Mhm.
There's no amount of affirmations that I could say. You know, there was no amount of anything I could do but rest.
Mm. Mhm.
The exhaustion, I'm questioning myself because I've been basically on my own since I was 14.
Mhm.
And I have been in survival mode. And the exhaustion that I felt, I was in Mexico in 2023, and Tana, who's on, she is where I met her. And
Oh.
we were walking down small flight of stairs, and she had to help me down the stairs. The
Mm.
joint pain, I didn't know what was going on.
Mhm.
And it was embarrassing.
Mm.
It was a whole lot of things, but the conversation is out there now. And I just want, 6,000 women a day, basically 1.3 million women a year are going to start going to the change of life.
Man,
Yeah.
I didn't know those numbers.
Yeah, and it's a celebration. It at the end of it, once you why you in it, you're like, I've always had really good skin. I worked at Sephora back in the day. They had me in skincare. And one day I woke up and I scratched and my skin was flaking off my face. And I'm like, what is this? You dry up.
Oh,
But now I think that had I known to start earlier, by I don't know if that would have helped, but if you can just start doing the things, checking your hormones early, don't wait until you're in the thick of it.
mhm.
And a lot of doctors will be like, "Oh, you're too young." The symptoms start as early as 35. So yeah, so that's where when I was in the thick of that is when I was tussling with trying to go to sleep. I was had that dream that I spoke about.
Mhm.
And in my dream, I was feeling so guilty for being tired. I had stuff to do. I got to work. I got to pay these bills. It's just me. Who's going to take care of me if I fall? And in that dream, my ancestor woke me up and was like, she took me into the field and there were women working throughout the field, sweating. And she said, they're going through the change of life just like you are going through right now. Said the only difference is you can rest. You
Oh,
can go and get in the bed. You can sit back and get the remote control and watch Netflix while you order DoorDash. You can go take a hot bubble bath and get a massage. She said, but she doesn't have that option. So if you can't rest for you, then you need to rest for her.
I love that you say that because um you might have caught the replay from the conversation with Jamila, and we
Mhm,
talked about rest, right? Like, and it really being a trauma response that to slavery, right?
mhm.
Like we always feel so guilty. We say we're gonna take a rest, and then it'll be like, oh, what did you do this weekend? I washed clothes, I cleaned the house, I ran some errands, but I rested, right?
Yeah,
So I love that you're bringing this up again because, again, right, connections across this whole entire last few days, the connections around us, especially Black women, really, really taking ownership and being proud of who we are, fully giving ourselves the sweetness, right? Like the love, the rest, the pour into that we need. Um,
mhm.
and it happens on every level. And so I love that you say that because it's just a beautiful reminder.
It took so much guilt
Mhm.
off of me. It made me say, okay, so get over yourself and think about your ancestor. Even a generation or two ago, my grandmother was a maid. So, she had to go take care of other people's houses.
Mhm.
She had to go and do some chores and probably come home and still take care of her home.
Mhm.
So even if I couldn't rest for them, if you don't have an ancestor in mind, think about it. We're not that in the climate we're in. One of the things I think I have found with all the 300,000 to 350,000 Black women that have been laid off or lost their jobs over the last year, where two or more are gathered. So if you think about all of us together as a collective, we're resting.
Mhm.
I know that, it may be easier for me because I don't have children, but it forced us to come together on the same accord.
Mhm.
And we're powerful, we're
Yeah,
powerful. So what they tried to plan for our downfall, it's only elevating us.
absolutely. Absolutely. Michelle
Mhm.
says she feels like it quietly passed her. Michelle, 61. Michelle, where? I am, as I close my eyes, I know I'm remembering your face. Listen, y'all, Black women,
I
this
love that. It
Yeah,
quietly passed her. Awesome. I've met a couple of women who never had any any symptoms at all.
she says my mom never discussed it, is what she's saying.
Mm, yeah, yeah,
Carmen is saying all the hormones and hormone disruptors in our food and water have accelerated everything.
I agree. I agree. Now, again, Tina is from Croatia.
Mhm.
And she's always showing me the food there and all of the way that they don't add all of the additives and preservatives. Even in Mexico, 3 to 4 weeks of me being in Mexico, I can start feeling withdrawals. And
Mhm.
I start saying, I miss fat America. I'm like, I need some additives and some preservatives into my food because
But
they have
it's so real though, right? I one of my
it.
favorite things, and we've talked about this with a few others too. We've been talking about the travel piece of it, right? And how travel really does change your, it can save your life. And so many of my friends or people I've known who have moved out of the States and moved across country in like a month, like probably less than that, but by within 4 weeks, when they start to post pictures, you can see the difference. You can see the difference in their skin, their
Yeah,
health is improving. It's such a beautiful thing to see. I think that if you are able to travel and explore outside of here, you should absolutely do that, especially Black women, um,
especially.
because the world, contrary to what is often told to us, there are so many more places that do love us, right? That will pour into us, that just taking yourself outside of this place, you will immediately, your lungs will thank you. Okay. And
Yes,
your body will be like, thank you. You want to talk about sweet, juicy self?
yes.
Go outside the country.
Yes, your nervous system is thank you. Wake up and see the sunrise and then see that sunset on the same day and
Mhm.
walk to the beach. Like I have never walked so much in my life as I've done in Playa del Carmen. When I first got there, I was jumping in taxis and the people there were like, don't take taxis until the taxis played in my face. And I'm like, no, I'm gonna walk. And then I'm like, I was right here. You want to charge me $15?
See?
Yeah,
Yeah,
so yeah, I totally agree. I'm so glad that I have traveled abroad. I want to do more,
Mhm.
but again, this 2025, I paid the cost for the amount of rest that I have been able to get. And, just working in the insurance industry, there was no storms this year. First time in 10 years. And I haven't been too upset about it. My bank account says something different, but my nervous system is like, child, whatever.
But listen, the beautiful part of this is you are honey Bruja. And so you could whip up a good little honey sweetness and sweeten that bank account.
Yes, it's in the works. It is in the works. I have, my book. I'm actually in the
Mhm.
process of starting to really promote it more.
Mhm.
And I don't know if you can curse on YouTube. So,
Well, I wasn't sure either. But let's talk about this book. What I've been saying is, it is ain't nobody tell me a mother thing. That's how I've been saying it.
uh-huh.
Let's talk about the book because, first of all, I love the title. Um,
Thank you.
how did this come about? And if you had to, I don't want to say sum it up, but if you had to tell someone why they need this book, what would you say?
Okay, so it's Did Nobody Tell Me a Motherfucking Thing? A Journey Through the Chrysalis Era of Perimenopause. I would say that you would need this book because you need to have a story, a relatable story.
Mm,
My first chapter, I talk about how I woke up one day and my hair felt like it was growing inward and I shaved my head. I shaved the hair off of my head. I love women who rock the ball look. That has never been anything that I aspired to, but the rage, and I'm running through my apartment like, what's going on with me? My heart is palpitating.
Yeah.
And I had never heard of a woman going through something like that.
Mhm.
And I talk about how my knees went from Meg the Stallion to Myrtle the Stallion. Baby, walking down 5 little steps had me somebody holding my arm. Like, what is going on? So when you do have or see, even if it's not you, if your friend is saying this thing, it'll, plant a seed in your head. Right now the conversation is about the symptoms a lot, which is so important. I am here for it. But as I'm watching, because now, on the algorithm, you watch one video and your whole feed is that. it's
Exactly.
everybody it's everybody talking about the symptoms. But what was your story? I'm working on my second book, which I'm going to put a call out for women to send in their stories.
Mm,
Because some people have funny stories. Some people, like Michelle, had it pass her by, you
mhm,
know. But there are still so many women out there who are not on social media. They don't know what's going on in the world. Uber has this new feature where you can have a woman rider can request a woman driver. That's
mhm.
right up my alley, because when they get in the car, I kind of ease into it and start talking about going through perimenopause. And they're like, what is that? And these are women in their 30s and 40s, 50s, still don't know what it is.
Mhm.
So I start planting seeds. And even if it's too early for those seeds, for them to feel those symptoms, the seeds are planted. And they'll say, oh, that woman that was driving Uber told me this.
Yeah.
So then they can't say, did nobody tell them a motherfucking thing?
I just say, please say this title one more time because I love
Did nobody tell me a motherfucking thing? And how I got that title, I was talking to a coworker. We were texting on Messenger, and I was telling her, I'm so hot, and this is crazy, and this is menopause. And I said, I'm gonna write a book, and I'm gonna title it, Didn't Nobody Tell Me a Motherfucking Thing? Why are we not having these conversations? And then it made me sad for my ancestors because they had to do this silently.
Mhm.
I used to hear people say, like, I'm the baby, so I used to hang under my mom in church, and I would hear all the grown folks' conversations, and they would say things like, "Oh, she just going through the change." And I thought it was gonna miss me.
Mm.
Did not. They had my head between the washer and dryer, knocking me back and forth.
Carmen says, "Look at you being an angel in disguise."
I received that. Yes, I have a message. I
Mhm.
want stories. I want to hear. I want to hear other stories beside my story, because once you get through the other side and you start feeling better, I am a new version of myself. The things that I used to love to do, I am so not interested.
Yeah.
People don't want to invite me places. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go grab the remote and watch Wicked, or I'm gonna go do something with me.
Uh-huh.
Being able to I spent 15 months. I just moved out of my apartment, but I spent 15 months in my apartment and nobody knew where I lived, maybe one or two people. But they had their own lives. They didn't come over. I didn't have a TV. I was able to sit with myself and cry and journal and laugh and dance. And, in my pre-recorded lesson, I talk about making my apartment my altar.
Yeah.
So I printed 50 to 60 pictures of myself and put them in frames and put them throughout my apartment so I could look at myself and love on myself, because the love I had was given so freely. People were walking through it with dirty feet. So you know what I said? Run me that back.
Mhm.
Let me just go on and take, and pour into myself. And I honestly, and it may sound harsh, but I stopped loving people.
Mm.
I didn't wish them bad and I didn't wish them good. I nothinged them. And I said, I'm going to love myself with the love that I was giving them. And I had to tell one person, I'm not Whitney Houston. I will not always love you.
Listen, that needs to be on a shirt, okay? I love that. Tama says, "Hey y'all, hey Tama."
Hey, Tama.
Carmen says we are still doing it silently. Even our black doctors give raggedy advice. They ain't that the truth.
Well, Honey Bruja is here, and we finna change the narrative on it.
Mhm.
We are about to we are about to crack it wide open because you're becoming. There are a couple of people that I follow, and one lady named Shavita, she talks about it from a whole different angle.
Yeah.
She talks about when she said when your blood stops flowing down, when you stop having your cycle, then what happens is it rises up,
Mm,
and your I think it's the cervix looks just like your throat.
it does. Yep.
So so what happens is your voice, it rises up, and then it opens up your voice, and you're becoming sure of yourself. So what they did was, if you look up the word crone in the
Mm-hmm.
dictionary or Google it, they show the oldest, decrepitest looking lady,
They do.
and they make you like the word crone. I'm starting to ease into it, but I'm like, I'm not a crone. But this era is, and they also demonized back in when before they took over, witches were not anyone who was doing anything bad, but midwives, herbalists, they were doctors, healers, astronomers, all the things, mystics. So in order
Anyone
to
that is outside of,
patriarch,
yep,
yeah,
exactly.
hmm
Exactly.
hmm
Oh,
yeah,
you must be a witch, right?
yeah, yeah. And if you are, that just means you're magical, that you're in your power, that you're a woman in total control of herself. That's what the acronym is, a woman in total control of herself.
I love that. That look,
Mhm.
another shirt. Carmen says, I need that shirt in a 4X, please. We got you, Carmen. Listen, Honey has she dropping all the t-shirt slogans. We need to come out with a beautiful new t-shirt line. You know
I'm
what
working on it.
you know what I hope for 2026 for us? I hope that we have more open, honest conversations. Not the pretty fluff, the
Mhm.
like dirty, direct, serious conversations about all of the things that we don't normally talk about, right? Because it does us no service, us, our community, the future, if we don't continue to talk about it, right? We don't normalize having these conversations.
Yeah,
That
this
way, no one ends up being like, "Didn't nobody tell me a motherfucking thing?"
exactly. Because we're talking about this now, and the hormone levels, the estrogen, the testosterone is very important, but they put that on that. And honestly, the way with them moving that black box label off of the medication, now all of a sudden HRT is safe. It's been safe. In my opinion, it was a money grab, because what they did the AIDS epidemic. They got that to seem to be under control. Cancer. They needed another big win. And now all of a sudden, we are going to, now you can take the hormones. So, how many women suffered without hormones because they were afraid to take it because it caused cancer? How many women, and I could not, the minute I started taking those hormones, I was like, oh, that's better than a joint. I mean, I was like, oh my God, I feel normal again, you know? But how many women suffered through that? It breaks my heart. It really breaks my heart.
You absolutely are in your calling, and I
Thank
love
you.
that. It's so beautiful to see. I'm so excited to see how you continue to let the world know and support us. Thank you. Listen, if I had to get in a car, an Uber car, I would want it to be with you so we can have all the conversations.
Oh,
Okay.
we have the conversations. I get telephone numbers. I have people start following me on social media till I had to get this little dot card with my what's that, that QR code?
Uh-huh.
And they scan it and they're following me now, and just all ages, all races. And I am honored to be chosen to be able to give this message out. You
Mhm.
know, I know that it's really mainstream right now, but I'm gonna get to the nitty gritty on it. I'm gonna tell you some things that I'm still dealing with. That the atrophy, you
Mm,
dry up, and one thing that really scares me is the brain fog.
yep.
Brain fog. It's not something, you think fog is gonna pass. My brain fog was so bad that I forgot what my face looked like.
Oh,
Now you're talking about somebody who face cards never decline. I forgot what it looked like. I would have to get up and go sit in the mirror and study my face. And then I'm sitting down again. I'm like, now what do I look like again? That scared me.
yeah.
Yeah, so I just want us to take care of ourselves. Again, like she said about the Black doctors or doctors, period.
Mhm.
When women go to them and they call it, Dr. Marie Claire said when she was in med school, or her during her residency, a woman came and gave all the symptoms, and she took it to a higher doctor. He said, "Oh, don't put this in the chart, but she's a WW." And she said, "A WW, a whining woman, a whining woman." She has all the acronyms of what they would tell her to put in the charts. And I think that it really didn't hit her until she entered into menopause, that she's an expert on this era.
Um,
Yeah.
wow. Carmen says that brain fog cost me 2 jobs.
Yeah.
She also says carry copies of your book in your Uber too.
I am. They're on the way. Tina just asked me, "Where are your books?" I'm like, "I just placed my order." Now I've been paying $11,000 in rent driving Uber. I have driven Uber so much and I'm grateful for it. But I'm like, universe,
It's
it's still
coming.
it's coming. It's part of the journey. It's
Yeah.
part of the journey, because who knows that the day I'm driving, when I meet someone who's on their 12.5 reason and they need a conversation from me, you
Mhm.
know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What does sweetness look like right now in this season of your life?
Sweetness looks like me celebrating the journey that
Mm,
I have been on, and doing such a phenomenal job, even on days when I felt I was over,
mhm.
when I felt I was done, when I asked, "Why me? Why did you choose me to do this?" And they said, "Why not? Why
What
not? Who
um
else will do it?"
what would you tell what is one thing you want to tell Black women so that they know for sure as they step into 2026? What is that sweet offering?
That rest is beautiful,
Mhm.
and that rest doesn't always mean going to sleep.
Mhm.
It could be going for a walk. It could be taking your inner child, like I did, to go see Wicked.
Mhm.
It could be going to play arcade games, doing things you did as a child when the weight of the world was not on our shoulders.
Mhm.
It's loving on yourself in a way that maybe like you've never done before. Over exaggerated. Pretend, if you're not a Virgo, pretend you're a Virgo, and over exaggerated.
Listen, I know very well Virgo life. I am a Taurus, but I have a few Virgos in my life. So I know that life very.
Yeah. Just be gentle with yourself. We have we have a target on our back, and we used to say it invisible, but it's not invisible. You know, they want what we have naturally, and they can't have it. So they try to distract us from going within, because the more powerful that we become, the more their light dims. The
Mm,
more we are standing in our identity, knowing that we are the blueprint, knowing that we set the trends. There's nothing, and even, when people are like, oh, y'all loud and ghetto, and, and you wish you could.
you
You
wish you
wish
could.
you could.
I
You
love
wish you could.
I love
Yeah, I love it. I love the way we can set a trend. I love to see us take nothing and make it out of everything. I love the way we just are. I love everything about us.
I love that. You want to play a little game?
Okay, sure.
So these are rapid fire questions that I've been asking all of the curators. They're different
Okay.
ones for you all. Um, so let's see what was generated for you. First question. Let's see. First question is, oh, look at that. I don't know why I was, today, us and technology has not been good. Okay, found it. Okay. Rest or ritual?
Rest is a ritual.
You right. Morning sweetness or midnight magic?
Oh, some midnight magic. I
Mhm.
am a moon girl.
Silence or soul music?
I think that silence is such a beautiful thing to cultivate, to ease the noise. When I
Mhm.
first started sitting in silence, my brain, every story, every voice. But when you can master sitting in silence,
Mhm.
it is a beautiful thing. You lose yourself in the silence.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. I love that. And the last question is finish this sentence. Rest is beautiful because.
If I can't rest for me, I'm resting for my ancestors.
Hmm, I love that. Also, we need to replay this video so that we could capture all of these really dope phrases you have dropped on us tonight, because you just got your whole 2026 t-shirt line in less than an hour.
I love it. I love it. Yes.
I want to thank you so much for joining us. I'm so excited and happy that we were able to connect and have this conversation.
Thank you for having me. It
You-
has been an honor. It has been an honor. You have no idea, when you sent me that message, I was sitting in the car questioning everything. I'm like, yeah, I have my moments. I do. I crash out. And I'm just like, what? And then I get a ping on my phone and I'm like, are you serious? They were like, yeah, yeah, go on with all of that wine. And we don't want to hear that.
Yeah, I'm glad that you said yes, you know. I never take it lightly when any of you go along with any of my wild crazy ideas. So I really appreciate that. Thank you.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Before we close out, you got one thing you got to do.
I know.
You got to add to our 12 days of sweetness song.
Okay.
You want to know
And
what yesterday's was?
yes,
Okay. So yesterday was on the seventh day of sweetness, we offer this to you. Seven sewing sisters and seven women smiling. That's,
Okay.
that's what yes.
Okay.
So
So
yours,
why am I singing five? Five. All the golden rings.
yeah,
But
but
that
you're eight.
mine is eight. Eight keys of land. Eight, eight. Rest without guilt.
Come on with it, okay? Rest without guilt works. I'm gonna put all of this together and have our glorious Chakisha to clean it up for us. Uh,
Okay.
but you'll see the full thing. Thank you for the contribution. That was
That's
um
fun.
one last thing. We're gonna do a little giveaway. I would like to gift your book to someone.
Oh,
And so you all, if you've been following us, we do a giveaway a day, sometimes two, depending on if we have one or two curators. And the to be eligible, you have to be inside of our circle. It is free to join if you have not done that yet or completed your profile. It's scrolling across the bottom. Um, I'm gonna let you say the title again because I just really like hearing you say the title. Today's giveaway is Honey Bruja's book called
did nobody tell me a motherfucking thing? A journey through the chrysalis era of perimenopause.
I love it. So we're gonna do this giveaway, and I'm going to spin the wheel. The wheel has people's name on it who has completed their profile inside of the circle. So let's see who the wheel decides. Today's winner is Taina. So I actually know Taina. She's a retreater. So
Oh,
Taina, congratulations. You are
congratulations.
of this amazing book. I have checked, you are inside the circle and your profile has been completed. So we will email you to get your information so we can send you that book. Thank you so much. Thank you, Honey Bruja, for joining me this evening. You do not have to stay for the church announcements. I'm just going to do a quick overview as we move into tomorrow's day. But I want to thank you again for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It has been a pleasure. It has been an honor to let me get all of this that's been in my head for a year. This is my first, but many more
Absolutely.
podcasts or yeah, I feel it. I feel it coming.
Yes.
Yeah.
More people hear your story. I would love to have you join us again. We can talk about what that looks like for 2026 because you have been a joy to have a
Thank
conversation.
you.
So
Thank you. All
thank you.
right. I'm gonna go if I know how to log off of here.
Yeah.
You all, thank you all for listening to me. I send you love, light, and positive energy. Peace.
All right, friends. So thank you all for joining us on day 8 of 12 days of sweetness. Can you believe it? We are now on day 8. Tomorrow, day 9, we will be joined by Goddess Z. We'll talk about some more intuition and all things spiritual. Can't wait. Again, do me a favor, please. This is our brand new YouTube channel under the Holistry, where we will continue to have sweet stories from Black women sharing their life, legacy, and all the juiciness. So if you are watching us on YouTube, please like, share, subscribe. We would love to continue growing this channel because we want to continue to offer these stories to the world. The world deserves to hear them. These women deserve to be highlighted, celebrated, and poured into. If you have not joined the circle yet, there is still time. The circle stays open until January 1st. And so inside the circle is where you will see all the sweet recordings, lessons. The marketplace is open, y'all. There are products, services, offerings from some really dope, amazing Black women-owned businesses. Please support them. And last but not least, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for being a part of this experience. I could not have dreamed or envisioned anything more magical and better than what we are doing right now. I want to continue to share this space and highlight and support and celebrate all things Black women, because that's what we do in this glorious, sweet life. I will see you again tomorrow, 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And until then, stay sweet and hope to see you inside of the circle. Good night, everybody.